All right. My name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we're going over email campaigns. Again, everyone's going to remain muted during the class, but if you have questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat box. If you are following along, I do see a question about what to have pulled up. The main thing you're going to need today is command. So for command, you can go to agent.kw.com and I'll drop that in the chat. That is your command website. So once we're on that website, we're going to log in using our username and password. With this, the username is not case sensitive. So if you have capital letters, it doesn't matter. But the password is case sensitive. So you want to make sure you get that correct. There is the little eyeball if you need to take a peek at it. If for any reason you're getting an error that you can't sign in, you can hit this forgot password and it will send over a reset to whatever email is on file. If you don't have access to that email, reach out to us. We can help get you reset. One thing to keep in mind though, again, it is case sensitive. Also, if you have a space after the password or before the password, that will also make it flag as incorrect. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and hit sign in. All right, so now that we are logged into command, we are on the home page. Keep in mind yours might look a little different than mine, and that is okay. They are customizable. The first thing before we jump into our email designs and campaigns is we want to check our marketing profile. Now, the reason we want to check our marketing profile is because some of that information on your marketing profile is automatically going to feed into your email campaigns. So we want to make sure that the information there is up to date and accurate. So in order to access the marketing profile, we're going to click on this little drop-down arrow next to our name. Once you click that, you're going to go ahead and hit this settings. Now, one thing I like to point out, the marketing profile is different than the My Profile, okay? The My Profile does not feed information to your website or your marketing profile, but the marketing profile and settings does. So to access that, we want to hit settings. Once we've gone into settings, we're going to hit this drop down for connect settings. And we're going to access the marketing profile. Now, the most important thing here is make sure that this is toggled on. If it's toggled off, it's going to look like this. You want to make sure it has that green little dot, that it's turned on, and this information is feeding over to your website, your app, and some of the other pieces of marketing that you're able to use. So again, just make sure that's turned on. Next thing is we want to make sure we have a photo. Now with the photo, the recommended size is 360 by 360, so a perfect square. We do recommend that you resize that photo for this specific field. The reason for that being is if it is not the 360 by 360 square, your photo can appear distorted or stretched on certain pieces of marketing or your website. Yes, everyone has confirmed we have sound, so you may want to just check your settings. Sorry about that, guys. But again, make sure that photo is the right size. Otherwise, it can appear distorted or blurry, stretched out, things like that. So if you need help resizing that, you can email us. We'd be happy to take a look and help. The next thing, though, is the team logo. Now, we do recommend having a team logo here, even if you're not on a team. The reason for that is that this logo will pull into some of your marketing pieces, whether you're on a team or not. So if you are not on a team, we recommend grabbing a standard KW logo. You can put your headshot there again if you want. Any of those options. We just want this to be some type of logo because otherwise it can appear it can appear broken in the link or in the marketing. And I can show you what that looks like when we get there. So again, just make sure you have something there. Real fast before we continue, as we're speaking of logos, you're going to see that there's another Market Center logo here. I'm going to show you guys really quickly how to find those logos. So for that, we are going to jump over to KW Connect. And once we're on KW Connect, we're going to hover over resources and go down to marketing. Now, once we're on marketing, you're going to notice the very top option is logos and branding. Okay. So when we go to logos and branding, it's going to provide you some of their criteria for different colors and texts, things like that. But we're going to focus on this section here. So we're going to be able to find our Market Center specific logo by searching here. Now you can do that by either looking the Market Center number or the Market Center name. So for this one, I'm just going to select a random Market Center. I'm going to put 22. Actually, let's just put 2. For this one, we're going to go with 1028. So we're going to go with the Crystal Coast today. I can hit the preview option, and it's going to allow me to view that logo, make sure that's the right one that I'm looking for. Go ahead and close that out. And then I can hit this download button. Now, once I've downloaded that, I'm going to go ahead and open up that folder. And I'm going to hit extract. And once I have done that, I should be able to find that full folder within my downloads. Make sure that worked. There it is. So now that I have that Crystal Coast folder downloaded on my computer, I have access to all of the different variations of the logo. So if I want to grab a black and white logo for my branding, I can do that. If I want to grab the standard red and gray, I can also grab that. But you'll notice by downloading that folder, I'm getting all of the different colors and variations of the logos for my specific Market Center. Now moving along, if you need to grab a standard basic KW logo for that team logo spot, you can grab those here or any of these down here. So I believe this is the one that I have in mind, or maybe it's that one. It's the red and white one. So this one here. So you can also download those and use those for your logo. Okay. Just going to take a look at these questions here. So the toggle on for your profile, that is within your marketing profile. That just feeds over information to your website, your app, as well as other pieces of marketing. Moving right along. So again, just a great place to grab logos for that team logo spot, as well as for your marketing logo here. Other information in your marketing profile, you do have to have any information that has an asterisk. However, if you're sending an email or smart plan, it may give you an error if you don't have your license information plugged in or something like that, if it's utilizing that information in your email campaign. So we recommend filling out as much as you can on this and trying not to leave anything blank, including your bio is required. Phone numbers, you want to make sure you have your website. This is going to be the full URL using the HTTPS. You're going to want that included there. Do not put a www before the KW websites. They will not work with the www. So if you ever see an error there, that may be why. Market Center logo, you can kind of see this one looks a little distorted. However, the logos for the Market Center, you do not need to resize. The places that they're utilized will automatically adjust them as needed. So you don't have to worry about that one, even if it looks distorted here. Other information needed, Market Center information for compliance. If your office requires legal footer, text, links, etc., you do want to make sure those are included here. If you're not sure, we would recommend checking with your broker in charge, your compliance coordinator. Somebody on your Market Center leadership should be able to assist you with that. Social media links, you're going to want to include those if you have them. Again, it is the full URL that you want to add there. If you don't add the full URL, it won't be a clickable link on whatever it's being used on. And then Google Analytics ID if you have that. Once you're done updating the information here, you want to make sure you hit this save button. If you don't, that information will not be saved to your profile. Just going to check the chat to see if we have any questions about that. Nope. All right, moving right along. The next thing we're going to take a look at is we're creating an email campaign today. But before we get started on the email campaign, we want to create the design that we're going to use in our email campaign. So we're going to head over to the Designs applet. If you're not sure what these icons are, you can hover over them to find the one you're looking for. You can also hit this red and white KW to expand that, and it will give you the names of each section. So again, we're going to head into the designs section today. The reason we want to start in the designs is that sometimes we see errors more often when you start directly in the campaigns. So we just recommend creating your design first and then pulling it in. So to get started today, we are going to go ahead and hit create a design. Now we are going to focus on this email today. It does have different templates than the other three would have. So anytime you're wanting to send an email out through the campaigns, you want to use this email one. If you're interested in any of the others, we do have other classes that are geared towards those that you can check out. But today we're going to focus on the email. So I'm going to hit that and hit next. Now you'll notice once we get here, there's a ton of templates. It has a total of 73 templates in here, and they're all going to look slightly different and be for different things. Now you can grab a template or you can create a email design from scratch. So first today, we're going to create one from scratch, and then we'll take a look at one of the templates in here that we can kind of customize. So to create one from scratch, I'm going to go ahead and use this create a new template. And once I'm there, I'm in the designer section of my email campaign design. So I can name this, I'm just going to name it newsletter, and we're going to say it's for December. And for today's class, we're going to just create like kind of a newsletter with maybe some listings that we can send out. But keep in mind, you can create these for whatever you'd like to, whether it's a client event or just a happy holidays, anything like that. A few buttons to pay attention to up here. You do have where you name your design. There is the edit button. You can just click there and change that whenever you need to. You do have the preview modes, depending if you want to see what it looks like on a desktop, tablet, or a mobile device. Over here, you have the view components, you have preview, and you have undo and redo. We also have some options up here to preview the email, send a test email, or download the template, and then we have save and exit. Now over here to the right is our different pieces of content that we can add into our design. So to get started, I always like to add the header and the footer to just be consistent with mine. That's just a personal preference, but if you are required to have that due to compliance, you just want to add that as well. Just going to take a look. I think I saw a question. Notifications, I'll come back to that at the end. It's not really relevant to what we're discussing, so I will come back to that at the end if we have time. Back to our body, pulling in the legal header and footer. In order to pull those into our design, you're simply going to click on it and drag over and then drop it with our mouse. You can see there's a green line where it's going to put it. So if I drop, it's going to go ahead and plug that information in. Now, As you can see, it kind of looks broken, like it needs to be edited. This is that information that pulls from your marketing profile. So super important to, again, make sure that's up to date. So once I have that pulled in, I can hit preview to see that it's not actually broken. It is pulling in that information from my marketing profile. So I do know that it's there. I can also change the view again if I want to see the different ways that it looks. And then once I'm done viewing that, just to make sure it worked, I can go ahead and hit that X. So again, it just looks broken. It's not. Next thing I'm going to pull in is that legal footer. So I'm going to pull that and make sure it goes below. You can see that green line. It's kind of telling me where it's going to go. So I want that below the header. Again, you'll see that it looks broken. Now, this is the reason you want that team logo to have something in its place. If we click preview, you'll notice that it's pulling in that logo here. This is kind of one of the reasons I said you can also use your headshot if you want to. It does, in this specific example, pull in above my information. However, you may want to just pay attention to that as you're going through, because it may not be where you want it to be all the time. So that's why we go ahead and stick that KW, because then I don't have to worry about it. You will notice it's pulling in the address twice. Unfortunately, there is no way to edit that information. It just pulls that. So we cannot manipulate that to a different address or anything like that. Once we're good to go though, the next thing we're going to take a look at is we're going to kind of go through these various ones. So we're going to drag in text first. Now you'll notice again, I put a box here. I can go ahead and click on that box and it will give me a pencil or a trash can. I can hit this little pencil to edit the text. So I'm going to put December newsletter again. And for this, I'm going to just change my styling. So I want it to be bold. I'm going to center it. I'm going to change my font and my text size. And once I'm done with that, the way to save this is by hitting done. So if you hit save, it's saving the entire template. However, it will not save this text that you added. Done is save in this specific situation. So if we hit done, it's going to put that over there so I can see it. A couple other things with the text field. You can also use merge fields. That is this section right here. And it has agent name, market or agent information, market center information. If you want it to populate information from the KWLS, or if you want to include contact information, brokerage information, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter a couple of times, and then I'm going to say happy holidays, and I'm going to insert the contact first name. Now, it is important to not type this out. Go ahead and use the merge field. We have seen that error sometimes if you're trying to type it yourself. So we just recommend pulling it directly from that dropdown. Now, once I've done that, anyone that I send this to, it's going to pull their name for every single email that goes out. So to show you what that looks like, we can go ahead and hit the preview. And you'll see that it says, and I said happy holiday, we need an S there, but it'll say happy holidays, and then it will insert their name. So to preview what that looks like and to make sure it's working, you'll notice in the top right, we have a search contacts drop down. Now I can hit on that and just hit a name, and I can see that when it sends to this specific contact, they're going to see it with their name on it. So that's a good way to just check to make sure it's working correctly by checking out the preview, okay? Just gonna take a look at the chat. Yep, December newsletter, I created that myself, so I just created one from scratch. Perfect. Moving right along. Other things that you can do here, you can insert links. You can change the color of the text if you want to. Say I want this to be red. Any of that you can edit and change yourself, okay? But again, just make sure you hit that done option or it's not going to carry that over to your design. Our next content piece is the image. So again, we're going to drag and drop, watching that green line where it's going to put it. And when we hit image, it's going to give us a couple of different options. So I can pull from my images. Now these are images that are already been pulled into an email design at some point. I can also pull in listing images. Now the best way to pull in an image from a listing would be to search by the MLS. Generally, it is the best way to find your specific property. Sometimes searching by the other fields will pull multiples. So we do recommend using that option. It does pull from every single MLS. So that's why that MLS number is kind of important to go ahead and use. I can also add my own images. So if I have created a design outside of Command and I want to pull that in, I can do that here. I can also pull in a social design that I created in Command. After I've downloaded it, I can then upload it into my email design. So to show you what that looks like real quick, because I feel like that's a pretty common question that we get, we're going to head over to our designs. And let's say that I created a social design and I want to pull that in. So I'm going to pull in this winter solstice one that I've created. I'm going to go ahead and hit open. And while that's opening, there we go. Once that bar loads at the top, I'm going to hit the download button. Sometimes if you get click happy while it's still loading, it will populate some type of error. So we just like to wait till it's done. Now that it's done, I'm going to hit download. I'm going to download this as either a JPEG or a PNG. I'm just going to do JPEG for today. Now, if I want to pull that design into my email to send out, I can hit browse or I can drag and drop it. And it's too big. That's okay. I would just wanted to show you guys how to do that, for example. But let's see if I can pull in something else. I'm going to pull in this one. This is a design. I didn't create this in Command, but it's the same situation. You'll just pull it in using the add images. I created this in Canva and I just want to click on it. You'll notice now that it has a blue box and I can go ahead and hit save. Now it's going to pull that image into my newsletter. I can now adjust that by clicking on it. I can adjust the size if I want it to be smaller. I can make it as big as I can. You'll notice it's not making it any wider anymore. That is as large as I can make it widthwise, but I can make it smaller. And then I can also still edit and delete. So the edit button, I can now do a couple different things. So I can link that picture to a landing page, a merge tag, a web address. So if I want when they click on that image for it to take them to a website, I can do that by hitting the web address. For example, we'll just pull in our YouTube. Again, click happy over here. I can put that YouTube there. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now, when someone gets this email, they're going to be redirected to that YouTube channel if they click on that photo. I can adjust the width and the height again if I want to, position. And then once I'm done and I like how it looks, I can go ahead and hit that done. And it won't let me click on it here, but if you were to send a test email, it would let you click on that and it would send you to that URL. Just going to take a look at these questions real quick. The signature banner that I use in my emails. You can insert your signature if you have it as like a JPEG or a PNG. You could insert it the same way as this. However, it would not have clickable links like the footer here would have if you were to have websites or things like that included. Okay, moving right along. The next thing that we have is the button option. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that over. Let's say that we're doing, I'm wanting them to register for an event. Say we're having a holiday event for our clients. I want them to register. So we're just pretending here, but let's say this had something about them registering. I can also include a button that allows them to click on that and go register. So same thing, I can link that to a web address. I can put the same web address, or if I had an Eventbrite or something like that created, I could move them over to that. I can change the font for that, the position, the color again, if I want it to be red or whatever color, we'll go with a dark red. I can make the edges rounded if I want to. Just put a 10. Or I can leave it square. Now, once I hit done, it's going to change that. So as you can see now, it has changed what it looked like. So it looks a little different. Now, when they click on that, it would redirect them to that site again. We've already gone over the legal header and footer. They're already included. Now we have the listing block. So if I'm sending out a newsletter, but I also want to display any of my listings that I have, I can go ahead and add those listings to it. And you can add as many as you want if you have 3, 4, 5 listings, whatever. And to edit those, you just hit the pencil again. You can do replace and upload your own, or you can go ahead and find your listing under the select listing option. And we're just going to grab one. We'll just do this one. Actually, we'll go ahead with this one. Just pick this one here. So now I can go ahead and select the photo that I want. Hit select. It's going to replace that. I can add text. It should pull all of the property information directly from the listing, but we do just want to make sure we review that, make sure that it's accurate. I can also link it if I have a landing page created, or again, another web address I want them to go to. I can link that there to where it would take them directly to that. I'm just going to select one. Once I'm done and my listing is inputted the way I want, I could go ahead and hit done. Oops, I didn't see what state that was. I don't know if it's going to take it. We'll find out. Yep, it worked. Again, same thing. We can select another listing. We'll just do this one. We're just picking ones. Same thing, enter your information. This one pulled the state, so that's wonderful. Hit done. Again, you get the idea, but add as many listings as you want to. That is the listing block. So again, just pulls everything from the MLS. You don't have to worry about it. Next thing is the event block. So another thing that you could use instead of that button, if we were doing, and I can delete that one, but if we were doing like an event for our clients and we want to broadcast that here, advertise that here, I'm gonna drag that up. I can then put that information here. So to edit this one, you do need to click on the individual boxes, even though it's within a large box. So we'll let you customize each one individually. It does also have that same button option, which is why I went ahead and deleted that. We'll do replace. I'm going to go ahead and grab one. Maybe I'll just do this. Now, again, I'm just grabbing photos. You obviously want to have this kind of planned out. Make sure it all goes together for whatever your purpose is for this email campaign. Same thing here, can link it again if I need to. It will put that photo right there for me. I can then adjust the information here. Let's say we're doing this the 19th, 5 p.m. Again, I can also still adjust the text or the size if I want to make that bigger. Hit done. It adjusted that event title. I'm just going to say we're doing a cookie exchange. Done. I can add some additional text if I want to say, bring your favorite cookie, bring your kiddos, we're going to have Santa and the Grinch, whatever you want to do, you can include all of that as well. Once that's included, again, you can do the same thing here with your button. It is the exact same as the other button we looked at, so you can adjust it the same way. And that is the event block. The next one is a video. So the video is a little different. It does have to be a public video. This is probably one of our most frequently asked questions. They want to include a video in their email campaign, but the video won't add. So for this to work, it has to be a public video with a URL. So that would mean even if you have your own YouTube channel and you're just uploading videos that you can use for your emails, it just needs to be uploaded somewhere to where you can grab that URL and use it. So we'll go ahead and just grab this one here to show you how to do that. You just grab the URL up in the browser and you plug that in. Now, once that's included, you hit done. It's not going to display it here. So the way to check that and make sure that it worked is to check out the preview option. And it's not doing it today. Weird. Normally when you were checking out the preview, if you were to hover over the video, it would show the URL down here in the corner. So maybe mine is not working, or maybe they've adjusted something. But I always recommend sending yourself a test email before you send this out to clients to make sure that you like it and that nothing has shifted to where it's, off center or something like that. So you'd be able to view it there, but normally it will have that URL just sitting down here in the corner when you hover over it so you can see it. The last thing we're going to take a look at is this Market Snap. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this down here. Now for the Market Snap, this is from, you can't edit this information. I can't remember the, where it populates from at the moment. My brain is not catching up with me, but I'm going to go ahead and grab a zip code to throw in there and show you what that looks like. So I believe it pulls from Nextdoor is where all of this information pulls from. Sorry, my brain is like not functioning, but I'm pretty confident that's where it pulls from. So when you pull in a neighborhood, it's going to populate all of that information. Unfortunately, right now, there's no way to edit that. So if you don't like the information that's pulling, you don't think it's accurate, unfortunately, there's no way to edit that information. So you may want to just change your neighborhood to find something that you like the way it looks a little bit better. But again, to edit that, you can change the name of it if you want to say the neighborhood that it is. And then you enter the zip code, find the neighborhood, hit done. It's going to populate all of that information for you. And you can add multiple of these. You don't have to just add the one. It is up to you. And again, what your purpose for the newsletter is. Okay. I'm just going to take a look at the chat, see if there are any questions. If it's on your YouTube, you should be able to use it. Again, I would always recommend sending that test email to make sure that it works and that everything went out correctly. But if it's on your YouTube, you should be able to use it. Once we have everything in our email that we want to send out, and we like it, we're good to go. We can go ahead and hit that save. We can send a test to ourselves. One last thing though that I want to show you before we do that is when we are in here, we've gotten asked before, and that's not it. Or I didn't pull it. that button go? Let me try one more thing, guys. Pull this one in. Okay. So if I want to make this a newsletter to send out, I'm going to put some text down here. I am just going to copy some text from this to show you what this does. Oops. Yep. So pulling it because it's white. There we go. So I've just entered some text to show you what this does. We're going to go ahead and hit done. Now, as you can see right now, the text that I've entered is going past the image that I have here. If we go back and edit and use this inline text, I'm also going to go ahead and center my information. But using that inline text, it just kind of cleans it up to make it a little bit neater. Just to make sure everything is kind of, and I guess I deleted that, but it makes sure everything is like very nicely centered on the page. Nothing's going way too long, anything like that. So that is just another button I like to show you guys because we have had questions what it does. That's what this one does here. Okay, once our email is done though, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. It's going to save all of that. Now I still want to hit this X to exit. It's just going to ask me again, do you want to save? I didn't make any additional changes, so I'm going to go ahead and disregard. You'll notice now that I have that in my email newsletter. So once that's created, we can go ahead and pull it into an email campaign. So we're going to head over to campaigns. Now, once we're ready to send this, before we get into creating our campaign, we want to make sure our email list is created. So your email list is a list of people that you want to send that to. So I've got this one here called cartoons. I can go ahead and check it and edit it. So I've got Fred, Rabbit, Eeyore, Pooh, etc. I'm going to go ahead and use those. You can pull those contacts into your email list based on tags. So I came in here and found all of my cartoons. Once I found all of them, I just made sure they're all displayed. So I have 11 with that. I can go ahead and hit select all and add them to that email list. The email list will be named here. Now keep in mind, if you're creating an email list that is using a specific tag, it will not update automatically. So if you add new contacts with that tag, it's not going to automatically update your email. So if you send a monthly newsletter to friends and family tag, each month before you send that, you want to come in and make sure everyone is added. Anyone new that you've added with that tag is added to your list. Once your list is exactly how you want it, you can go ahead and hit confirm. Now, if you don't have a list created and couldn't edit it, you just do create list by itself. I'm going to do cartoon 2. We're going to search them by tags again. Now, if I had 100 contacts with the cartoon tag, if they weren't all displayed at the bottom, it would say see more. And I can continue to load that until I have everyone selected and then hit select all and hit confirm. So now we have our new list. I can delete the old one if I want to, just hit delete. Again, we recommend creating the email list first. It just causes a lot less error for you guys when you're sending out that email campaign. So now that we have our list ready to go, before we actually create the list, I want to show you what the email dashboard looks like here for campaigns. So each command account gets 5,000 emails per month included with their command mail. However, if for any reason you're sending more than 5,000 a month, you can upgrade that by clicking upgrade account. You can also do that in your settings. Show you real quick where that's located. So under settings, it's in that main screen that pulls up. If you scroll all the way down, you'll find command mail. Again, 5,000 per month. We hit manage. I can change the reply to email. So if I'm not using my KW email, I can change that. I can change the sender name. I can also view how many emails I've sent this month and upgrade that in the marketplace if I need to. But moving back to this, when you're in the emails dashboard for campaigns, it's going to show you how many you've sent the last 30 days, how many recipients, how many opens, how many people have actually clicked into your emails. And then down here, you can search for specific emails, filter your emails that you've sent by mailed, scheduled, archived, or draft. You can also view all. If you set it for a specific goal, you can just view those. Channel, if you're using MailChimp versus Command Mail, you can filter between the two. You can also edit your email list right here by clicking that button. Now, looking at our overview here, you'll notice it has the name, the status of that email, the date, how many emails were sent, opened, clicked, the goal. I also have 3 dots where I can duplicate an email or archive it. And then to show you what it looks like when it's sent. So this one here, upcoming details or upcoming event. If I click onto that, if I click on this button here, it's already been mailed out. It's going to show me how many were sent, how many were actually delivered, opened, clicked, unsubscribed, etc. So I can view all of that information here to just keep a good track of my emails and who is actually looking at them versus not, what is valuable information versus what is not. So great place to keep track of all of that information. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and create this. So to create it, we're going to hit create a campaign. Now, here is where there are different kinds of campaigns, but we are going to be doing an email campaign. We're going to name our campaign. And we're going to decide what our goal of this email is. So if we're advertising listings, attracting listings, talent, if we're just doing brand awareness, event awareness, buyers, or other, you want to make sure you select the one that is your goal for that email. I'm going to go ahead with other, and I'm using command email. The difference between Command and MailChimp, they're just different templates, newsletters, things like that. So it's just a preference there on how you want to do that. I've never really used MailChimp for this. I've primarily stuck with Command because that is kind of our go-to. So create. Now, once I've created that, it's going to give me the information over here on the left. The campaign name, the account that I'm using. This is where I will select my email list. So again, you can create it in here. We just tend to see more errors when you do it here versus before. So I'm going to go ahead and select my email list. Send from, it's going to give my name and then the reply to. Now you can edit that, but it is going to take you where we were before. So it's going to take you into your settings to adjust that here. You cannot just adjust it right here on the thing. So the subject of the email. So I'm going to also put December newsletter. Or we could put wishing you a happy holiday, whatever you want to include there. And then this is where we select our design. So this is another question that we get quite often. We do have people that hit select design and they've created their design as a social design or a or one of the others, like and they don't pull up. So if you create a social design and did not put it into an email template, you're not going to be able to select it. When sending the email campaigns, it does have to be an email template. To see the difference in those when you're in your designs, it will tell you email, social, video, print. It's going to tell you the different types. So social, video, print, those are not going to pull up when you're trying to send an email. Once I have that, I can go ahead and select my design. It's going to pull me in to make any additional changes that I want to make, but we've already created it and we're good to go. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit the X out. And then it's going to show me that preview over here on the right-hand side. So I can see my email before it's actually ready to go out. I can do the preview again if I want to. One thing I like to point out here, if you're previewing that in the actual campaign, it's not going to allow you to drop down and select an actual contact name like it did when we were in the Designs applet. So keep that in mind. Make sure it works before you pull it in. But once we're ready to go, like I said, we can send that test email and see what it looks like. And I will go ahead and do that real fast. See if it will let me pull that up. Give me 1 second so you guys can see it on the other end. And the test emails send pretty quick. So here we go. So you'll see that it says test December newsletter. One thing I like to point out, when you send the test, it does not include the contact name because you didn't put a contact's name in there. It's not pulling it from a command. It's just simply sending a test. So that is not a good judge of if it's working. You should be able to test your videos here. So as you can see, that is working. Your links here, you should be able to click. I don't think I added one to that one actually. But you should be able to view all of those links, make sure everything is working. One other thing I like to point out, the test emails do also not include the unsubscribe option. However, every email that you send from command does include the unsubscribe option. You just don't see it in this. And I can actually go ahead and just send one of these out. Let me see if I can find mine so we can actually see that. Great. Confirm. So I'm actually going to send it so that you can see it on the other end as well. So we're going to go ahead and hit send. Usually if you're just doing one person, it should send out fairly quickly. But when you first hit send, it is going to say processing, okay? Give me 1 second. Let's see if that's sent out. And it may take a minute, so I may have to come back to it. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to process it. Let me just check and see if there are any questions, and then we're going to take a quick look at a pre-made template since we have about 10 minutes left. Okay, no questions, so that is good. Let's go ahead and go back to designs and just take a quick look at a pre-made template that we're not creating from scratch. So create, we're going to do email, and then we're going to select one of these. So there are a bunch of different ones, whether you're doing open house, just sold, if you want to advertise a bunch of listings, or if you're looking for a holiday one, there are holiday ones as well. So we kind of did a happy holidays one. There is also one of those here already made. So it is going to look a little different. So market centers at the top, these are things that you cannot add yourself like this. So if you like the way that it looks and you don't like the rest of the email, we just recommend customizing one of these. You can delete anything that you want. Also another little different one. This is one where, like I said before, the license number and website, if they're not in your marketing profile, this is one that you may see an error if you're not using those in your marketing profile. So when we pull that up, if I didn't have that information there, it would cause an error and it wouldn't send. So just keep that in mind if you ever see that error. But again, simple email that we could customize and send. You just simply edit it the exact same way we were before. Just editing the text, hitting done. It's the exact same thing. You can still add in more stuff if you want to add in additional photos. You'll notice though that it is a little different because it's putting them within certain boxes. So you just want to pay attention to where those are going as you're dragging and dropping them. So it's just adding it in wherever that green line is. And I can preview. I can resize it if I want it to be similar to the same size as the other one. All of that good stuff, okay? Once I'm done, same thing as before. Just once I've edited everything that I want, I have it how I want it, hit save, exit out, save or disregard. Quickly, we'll just take another look at some of the ones that are a little bit more complex. Let's take a look at this one. Now, as you can see, it's a little different, but you just want to edit and update your information based on the listing that you're using. Photos, same thing. Pull those in from your computer and edit those. Again, same thing. It looks a little different up there. I do want to leave some time for questions. That email still hasn't come through yet, guys. Again, it can take a while sometimes, but they do all have that unsubscribe. So you will always see that. Let me see if I can find an old one to show you guys what that looks like though. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to drop those in the chat right now, because we'll have some time to go over it. Let's see. Okay. So I found an old email that I can show you guys what it looks like. It's not the one we just created, but that is okay. So as you can see here, this is an old email that I sent out from Command, from Campaigns. And when I go all the way to the bottom, you'll notice it has this unsubscribe option. So again, not something that shows in the test email or the preview, but it is going to be there for every email that you send out. So don't have to worry about adding that or making sure it's included. It's always going to be there. Okay. Alrighty, see if there's any questions. I'm related to the is there video. How should we oops. An example how to make it if you could clarify what you mean there, I can see if I can help. Tips on what video to watch. For support videos and things like that. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hit stop record. If you guys don't have any questions, feel free to jump off. All of our videos will be on our YouTube, including this one. Generally by end of business day, but definitely within 24 hours. So you can always go back there and rewatch it. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit stop recording.